Hey guys, it's Wade Fellon. I am heading over to the Bitterroot with my wife today to do some fishing with the regional rep for Orvis. And I asked him if I could take advantage of his knowledge base to go over Orvis's new gear for the year. We're an Orvis endorsed lodge, of course. We've loved their product for years, and they've got some really cool stuff coming out this year. And I've been fielding a lot of emails from clients about how to pack. So we're gonna break this up into 4 parts. We'll go over spring today, and then summer, and then waders, and the different applications and offerings when you would use one over the other. And then finally, we're gonna go over all the new Helios fly rods. There's a lot of variation between the F and the D and the different lengths, and whether you're streamer fishing or nymphing or dry fly fishing or really light dry fly fishing to talk about. So Jeff's been nice enough to set up his booth out in his yard, and then we're gonna hit the river. So if you haven't already subscribed, please do so, and we'll be trickling these out over the next couple of weeks, but stay tuned for spring today. Thanks so much. Thanks, have a good day.
What's up, buddy? How you doing, man? Thanks for making the trip.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Dude, it's gonna be a beautiful day. Look forward to kind of going through, really kind of, getting into a little more detail of just kind of what it is that you can need. I think, he teed it off appropriately where this morning it started out there as, snow on the ground, and it was, in the 30s, but it's going to end up at, dang near 60 later today. So in spring, it's something where you need kind of a multitude of things and pieces that are multifunctional to have diversity. But I want to first start with some accessories and things that commonly get overlooked. First though, is easy. It's just always having good sun protection. We're out on the water, it amplifies the UV effect. So always having a good hat, whether it be a wide brim, a trucker, whatever your style is really kind of the basis. Something that I do think gets overlooked a lot is always having a good pair of socks. With Orvis, we make a couple different weights, a medium weight and a heavy weight over the calf sock, along with a wading sock that is intended to get wet and has nylon built into it, so it is more durable and it's going to last longer with the abrasion of the sand and grit that gets into your boots. But having a good wool sock, I think, is key, because when you're around water, everything has the propensity to get wet. So having a good wool layer to start with, you're going to stay cozy all day long on the feet. Next is gloves. And here I've grabbed, we make several different gloves. These are my 2 particular favorite pair. I really like just your fleece fingerless glove for kind of that all-day multi-purpose use. But when it really does get chilly, I like using our Pro insulated glove. This one has a fingerless layout, but then the fold out on the mitten. This has a heavy DWR coating, 80 grams Primaloft insulation, so insulates even when wet. And on those truly cold days, these things are unbeatable. And then moving up, it's moving into your pants. So like right now, I'm wearing the Jackson Quick Dry, which is what these are. This is a pant that is really used 365 and all over the globe. So whether it be salt or us here in the Rockies, this is one of my favorite pants to wear. High stretch, quick dry. This utilizes a turbo dry waistband. So even in the summer when you're swimming in them, that band doesn't stay wet all day like many do. And this is just an incredibly versatile pant. And like today, I'll be using underneath my waders. But at the same time, later this afternoon, I might be kicking the waders off because of the heat, and then it's perfect just to have those. If it is gonna be on the colder side of things, we make 2 models of underwader pants. Our underwader pants come in a light, and then the standard, which I have here, this is gonna be a heavy barber fleece. When under the waders, when wearing waders and walking into water, you get compression. So if you have something puffy like this, that insulation gets compressed. So by having a thick lost fleece, that's gonna trap that air and help keep you warm. These particular ones, because these are the warmer pair, also come with vents on the side. And then you have your little stirrup strap here on the bottom, so your pants not riding up when you're stepping into your waders. So these to me are indispensable. I find that I'm actually on the couch watching football in them a lot as well. And then we move up into your tops. So the first is some form of sun protection and base layer. So my personal favorite, which is I'm wearing today in the green, is our dry cast. I like this material. One, is extremely soft and comfortable, so it's just, you want to wear it. But two, it's 50 plus UPF, antimicrobial, and just an incredible layer. So this is something I actually wear 365, even as, you know, when going skiing, I use this as a base layer because of the moisture wicking properties. It also comes in several different configurations. So here I'm showcasing it in the hoodie, but it also comes in a t-shirt, a crew neck, and a quarter zip. So depending upon how you want to layer and you don't want so many hoods, you have options and you'll always find a purpose to use it. The other option is going with, you know, a sun shirt. If you're not the hoodie type, then going with a nice sun shirt, I think is pretty hard to beat. I know Wade's rocking one today. I went the hoodie, so kind of a good representation of both. The one I have represented here is my personal favorite. This is called the Stonefly Stretch. It's a lightweight, extremely stretchy, very comfortable shirt to wear. And when you're fishing, you're active, whether you be, you know, you're rowing the boat, you're casting a rod, you're playing with the dog. It's just an incredibly comfortable shirt to wear, and you don't get clammy on it, even on those hottest of days. Next, we move up into the mid layer. So I'm wearing a quarter zip now. And so something like our Horseshoe Hills is one of our most popular selling items. And Wade's actually wearing his today as well. But the Horseshoe Hills is a very popular item. But this you're wearing as a mid layer. So this is just giving you that little buffer of insulation. Again, today's a perfect scenario where this morning when I got up, the boat was covered in snow. And thankfully it's all melting off quick, but it was cool. So I can put this on. But these mid layers, they provide insulation, but they also breathe very well. So when we get out in the water and we're rowing, we're being active, you're not gonna be sweating and perspiring. And it's just a very versatile layer. And that's why you kind of start here before you go straight into insulation, is for that ability to transport moisture and breathe. This material is a waffle. That waffle grid, that allows for heightened breathability, for air to flow within that piece, but also creates loft. So if I were to just put my rain shell or something over this, it adds incredible warmth to weight ratio because of that trapped air that's created just by the loft of the material. So also in the mid layer category is the Pro Soft Shell, an incredibly versatile piece. And really what I like of the difference here is the durability and weather resistance that you don't get here. While this provides a little more insulation, but the qualities such as breathability that you want as a mid layer still exists in the soft shell, but you're gonna get a little more of an outerwear protection. So again, this morning when it's wet, I'm trying to get the cover off the boat. This is gonna have a heavy DWR to shed water, provides light insulation, but it continues to breathe well. So this is something that I can put directly on over my sun hoodie, row in it, handle, you know, winds, light rain, and provide just a little bit of insulation. So a very good piece that's durable and provides a little bit of wind protection, but you have incredible breathability and motion. Next, we'll be moving up into actual insulation. So welcome the dog. Next, we move up into actual insulation. And one of my favorite just jackets of all time is the Pro Insulated.
So quick segue story. I had a shoot up in the mountains between Butte and Bozeman the other day for a hunting company. I tied that around my waist while I was climbing up, and we wanted it right at dark with the sunset and multiple layers of mountains. And I'm going up, and my brother-in-law, who's my subject, screams over to me, I just kicked a mountain lion. So my gait picked up like 3 times, and I lost this coat off my back. 2 weeks without this coat, I hiked my ass back in there and found it.
It's worth it.
Moose had pooped on the edge of it, but it was, I mean, you wouldn't even know I left it there for 2 weeks.
That's just character.
Snow. So yeah,
you know, that's character and a story worth telling. Yeah, and if any of you have owned this or worn it, you get it. This is what's a mapped out insulation. So we're using Primaloft Gold insulation, which is a phenomenal synthetic insulation because of its warmth to weight ratio, but also its ability to insulate while wet. So where you see kind of the light blue colors, that's gonna be your 80 gram insulation. But where you see this breathable mesh, that's gonna be 60 grams of insulation. And that 60 grams is also gonna go out through the sleeves. And what that's gonna do is kind of eliminate that Michelin Man full puffy effect. It provides insulation in your chest, you know, your kidneys, your back, for where you really need it, but it removes it where you don't need it as much. So it's very comfortable to wear. We have a really soft internal material here, makes it easy to slide on and off. Phenomenal wind resistance on this. I mean, I've been on the windiest days and it's amazing how this thing blocks wind and sheds rain. And this is one that you just never know when the weather's gonna change. That even on today, the forecast calling for 60, this is still gonna end up in my boat because you just don't know what's gonna happen. And one of the pieces I really kind of consider fundamental throughout any setup. And then finally we get into outer layers. So, and that it is so important and so critical to always pack a rain jacket. One of the common sayings in Montana is if you don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes. And that couldn't be truer. And the same goes with just rain. We have these light squalls, the clouds break through the mountains just as they do down on the Big Hole, and it creates these little squalls. It might last 10 minutes, it might last an hour, but they come through quick, and a lot of times they dump ferociously. So to have some rain protection is great. The other benefit of a rain jacket is just wind. When you're out on the open rivers and on these bigger rivers that we're fishing here west, we have a lot of wind. And sometimes it's not particularly cold, but you're getting chilled because of the wind. So a lot of times a rain jacket I'm wearing just simply to block the wind. So it's always good to have in. We offer a multitude of options. Here I have the Clearwater, which is a great jacket, full featured rain jacket, including our neoprene wrist cuffs, which make it very easy to slide on and automatically have that seal. Water resistant zippers, great pocket configuration for your fly boxes and tools. And this only comes in at $220. But we also make the ultralight at $279 and then the Pro at $450. So a multitude of options to satisfy your needs. So essentially with this, we really kind of cover the basis of what you would want to pack and be looking at when you're coming into the Northern Rockies. Starting with some of your accessories, which shouldn't be overlooked, the good wool socks, gloves just in case. You'll be amazed at how much you find you use them. Always a hat. Start your pants. You can do your insulation if you have a tendency to be cold, or just go with the Jackson Quick Dry. Your kind of base layer, your foundation setting with your sun protection, a mid layer, insulation, and rain. Any questions?